Hi friends, welcome to this channel. In this video, I'm going to discuss about basics of Java programming. This is the content of this video, overview of Java, features of Java programming environment, and the very first program, Hello World. Overview of Java programming. See, why Java? Why do we learn Java programming? Since Java is a powerful programming language and most important programming among all computer programming languages. Why? Java can be used to develop any type of applications. So that is why Java is an important and mostly used programming language. See, it is one of the world's most important and widely used computer programming language. For long year, it is a very long-lasting programming language. When Java was developed in the year 1991 by a team of developers like James Gosling and his team at Sun Microsystems. The initial name was O, then the name was then the programming language was renamed as Java in 1995. The symbol of Java is cup and saucer with a hot smoke. There was a story behind this that developers, when they developed the Java programming, they consumed more coffee. So, to remember that coffee, they have named the very famous island Java Island. They export more coffees to the entire world. To remember that, they have named these languages Java. The first version of Java is 1.0. It was released in the year 1991. Then they released in 1.1, 1.2, like that. They added some new libraries and some new concept with the programming languages. Now, recently, we are using Java 8 with the more abstract Java libraries and the abstract form of Java programming. Why Java is mostly liked programming language? Because we can apply the Java programming for any type of applications. So for every year, more than 930 million JRE files gets downloaded and 3 billion mobile phones run Java. Some of the application areas, desktop application development. So Java can be used to develop desktop applications and web applications development. We can use Java to develop our web-based applications. So very famous applications, LinkedIn and Snapdeal, these are all developed using Java programming. And coming to mobile operating system, the Android operating system was developed with the platform of Java. And we can also develop Android apps using Java programming and embedded systems, IoT applications development. We can use Java in robotics and game applications development. Not only this, we can develop network-based applications like that. Any type of applications we can develop using Java. So that is why Java is widely used in every corner of world and human life. Java is not only used in software but also used in the designing hardware and which controlling the software components. Next, we can see some of the main features of Java programming. The very first feature is Java is simple. See, why we are saying Java is simple means once we learn C and C++ programming, Java is very simple. Why? Because the syntax of Java programming has been taken from C programming language and the object-oriented programming concept of Java programming has been inherited from C++ programming languages. So once the people who knows C programming and C++ programming, Java is very easy for them to learn. That is why Java is simple. The next feature of Java is object-oriented programming. Even C++ is also object-oriented programming, but we can say Java is a pure object-oriented programming. Why? In C++ programming, without Java, we can run, without OOPS concept, we can run C++ program. But in Java, is not like that. Java main method is contained inside a class file. So Java is pure object-oriented programming language, robust. Java is very strong in its programming. It is provide error-free code because during the compilation time, the error will be cleared by the programmer and the bytecode will be created. So here the memory management and exception handling is very strong, which is handled by JVM. In the later slides, we can see about JVM. So then, so because of the memory management and the garbage collections and exception handling, the Java is robust. Next, Java is platform independent. Since the programmer will write the Java code will be compiled by Java compiler, the bytecode will be created. So that bytecode can be executed in any platform, either in Linux or Windows or Mac OS. The same bytecode can run on any system. That's why it is platform independent. Once we created bytecode, that bytecode can be run on any operating system. So that is why it is in platform independent, and we can say Java is write once, run anywhere language. The next feature is it is secure. Since here, not like C++. If it's a C++, the program will compile and the exe will be managed and handled by operating system files. But here, JVM, that is, it has a Java runtime environment, is a separate environment. There is no interface, no contact with the Java runtime environment or Java bytecode with the operating system. So the bytecode will be very safe and very secure. It will not disturb any system. That is why it will be very secured. And multi-threading it will support. We can create threads. Entire program can be splitted into smaller parts called as thread, and every thread can be simultaneously executed. That is concept called multi-threading. So one example we can say, suppose in mobile phone, we can view different applications simultaneously. So that is one application of multi-threading. So Java will support multi-threading concept. And architectural neutral is nothing but, since we are generating bytecode, that bytecode can be run on any system, either 32-bit applications or 32-bit architecture or 64-bit architecture. Any architecture the program will run. That is why it is architectural neutral. These are some of the main features of Java programming. The next we can see how Java is different from C++. So the small comparison between Java and C++. When you take the first C++, C++ support pointers, union, operator overloading and structure. But Java will not support pointers, union, operator overloading and structure. It is very simple. It will not, when you use pointers while directly accessing the address, we should be very careful to write program. But here there is no pointer concept. So it will be very simple. And the next one is C++ does not support garbage collection. So garbage collection, if you want to manage your memory, we have to, when you create object, once we complete all the process, we have to destroy the object using the destructor, or we can destroy the pointers using free function. So the memory management we have to do in C++, but in Java, the garbage collections and everything will be supported by the Java runtime environment. And the next difference is C++ is platform dependent. So once you execute your executed C++ file will not be run on other platform. But Java is not like that. Once we create bytecode, that can be executed in other platform. So that is platform independent. Java, then C++ supports inheritance, including multiple inheritance. But in Java, it will not support multiple inheritance. Instead, we can use interface concept. And C++ is compiled, but Java is both. It will take compilation and interpretation. Where compilation will take place when you write your Java program, then we have to compile your Java code. So it will create a bytecode. Then after compilation, the bytecode will be there. The bytecode, when you execute your bytecode, the interpretation will take place. It will execute the bytecode in interpreted way. So that is compilation and interpretations will take place. Then C++ support destructors, but Java does not support destructor. Destructor, no need to define explicitly. The JVM will take care. That is Java virtual machine will take care the destructor operations. So no need to define the destructor explicitly in Java programming. These are some of the difference in the environmental way and in the programming way between C++ and Java programming. Next, we can see Java environment. What are the components, what are the libraries we are using to execute our Java program? The very first one is Java Virtual Machine. Java Virtual Machine is hard for Java programming. So every operations will takes place in Java Virtual Machine. So Java Virtual Machine does not understand Java typo. Java programming it does not understand. So once you write your Java program, you have to compile the program. It will create bytecode. So that bytecode can be understandable by JVM. So JVM will control the execution of every Java program. So automatic exception handling, garbage collections, everything will be handled by JVM. So here there is no destructor. So that destructor function will be carried out by JVM here. This is the architecture diagram for JVM, the class loader. Class loader will load our bytecode to the here. Here all method, what are all the method we have defined in our classes, all method will be placed here. Then the heap is nothing but it will create store all objects. Whatever the objects we have created, that will be. Then stack is nothing but all the expressions and temporary variables will be stored here. PC register, program counter. That is PC will always carry next instruction to be executed. Native method stack, what are all the Java libraries which is support to execute Java program, that will be here. And then this is the interface to execute our Java. This is the architecture of JVM. These are all the locations or the libraries which helps to execute our Java program. Apart from JVM, we have two more environment or two more libraries we will use, that is JDK and JRE, Java Development Kit and Java Runtime Environment. These two we will use here. So JDK is a development kit. It will provide all libraries to develop and compile the Java code. JRE is a runtime environment. It contains the JVM and other components. See, JRE contains JVM and other libraries, but JDK contains JRE and other tools. So JDK is a superset which contains JRE, and JRE contain our JVM. This is the Java programming environment. So when you want to install Java, you have to download JDK from Java website and you can install JDK. So all the supporting libraries will get installed in your system. Now, we can go to our programming part. The first program, Hello World program, we can try in this. So usually when you write Java program, the procedure you will follow is you will type your Java program in the notepad, then compile the program in the command prompt and execute. The same way I will give you here. Then we can move on to IDE. I will explain that. So just we can open the notepad. We can open the notepad. Just as I said, Java file will contain a class file. So class is a keyword. Just I will increase the font here. Yes, class example. Now public static void main string. I will explain every lines here. So the Java file must, the start execution will start from method, but main method should be inside a class. So and class example, and here when you save the file name should be example. The file name and the class name should be the same. Public static void main, we can define the method main as public. Why? Because we can execute this outside our program. So always it should be public. And why we are using static? See, static, why we are using? Can be run without static. So why we are using static means, since inside the class, if you execute a method, means we have to create object, and through that object only we can execute the method. But here we have created a class and we have returned the main method, but we are not going to create any object for this class example. So the main method will not be called by the object, by its class only. That is why we are declaring the main method as static. This is an interview question. You please be understand. So just we can give system.out.println hello world. See, here we can use println, or we can use printf. Print you are giving means it will print the given text and the control will stay on the same line. If you give println, it will print the given text and the control will move on to the next line. So hope you are all understand the first program, class example, and public static void main. And here why you have defined the argument as string. Java will read all the input in the form of string only, and that is why we have given here as string some argument in the form of, because we won't give only a single input, we can give collection of input. That is why we are using here array structure. This is the meaning of every statement in this program. Now we can store this, save the program inside JDK. We can go to find Java. Java will be in my D drive. So yes, Java. Then JDK I'm using 1.12. Inside bin we can use example. This is name of our class, example.java. Yes, we have saved our file. I think example, the file name is not valid. So, example.java already exists. So just we can change the, yes, we can replace it. Yes. Now, so the first step we have completed. We have written a Java code and we save the program. Now open the command prompt. And we have to run the Java code. It is in D Java JDK bin. See, Java C is a compiler, Java compiler. Our program is Java example dot Java. So just it will compile our code. So the bytecode will get created. Bytecode, when you see this example dot class file will be, just you can see here, example dot class file you could see. Yes, see, example dot class. So this is our Java file, this is our bytecode. So once we compile the code, we could see the class file, that is bytecode. And next, to execute the code, we can give Java file name. So Java example. So hello world get displayed here. So this is the way we can do our Java programming. Hope you are all understand how to do Java program. Now I'm going to explain you IDE, that is Integrated Development Environment. See here, we are typing the Java program in Notepad and we save the file in the particular folder, then come to the command prompt, we have to compile and execute everything. But in integrated development environment, all these process will be integrated and placed in one screen. We can type and we can compile, debug, execute everything in the same screen. So that is integrated development environment. The very famous IDE is Eclipse, and NetBeans also we can use. So here in this video, I'll explain how to use IDE as Eclipse. Eclipse IDE we can use here. And so just I will show you how to use the Eclipse. Here I have installed Eclipse here. So once you practice the Eclipse environment, it will be very easy to run your Java program, because if it will ask you the workspace, where do you want to save all your Java files. So you have to select your workspace. I have given webinar as my workspace. So just launch. So the environment will get launched. You get practice of using IDE. It will help you to develop application very easily, because when you use Java programming, sometimes you have to initialize your class variables, environmental variables and class path, everything you have to do. But once you use your integrated environment, it will be very easy for you to do your programming. So I will start from the new Java project. So just new Java project. So I'm giving my project name as webinar 2. So just finish. So all your files will be under your project webinar 2. See here, this is the package explorer. This is a webinar 2. Here you can select and right click class. So the class file will get created. I am giving first hello world. Hello world. So just give finish. So your file will get created like this. This is the package. In the later videos we can see about what is package and all. See, automatically your class file gets created here. See, the name of the file is helloworld.java and the class name is hello world. So here just you can include your main method, that is public static void main string of. So you will get the, so this is the environment. You can do everything. Your project, this is a project properties will be here. So here all the settings, the path settings, everything you can do here. So it is very easy than typing your code in the notepad and compile in the command prompt. So here we can give system.out. See, your tooltips will come here and you can select println hello world. So just you can give. Now that's all. We can save the code here. Then run. Just you can select run, your output you can see here. So this is the way you can do your programming. Hope you all understand how to do Java programming and the features of Java programming, history of Java programming. In the next video, we can continue the next part of Java.